So there's 4 issues. One of them's not on the agenda, but it's something that we need to bring your attention to. It's pretty much an update. First one is Man Elementary Literacy Agreement. The second is an annual data security and breach best practice and a tax rate levy and property assessment vote that Stacy has been telling us about. And the last topic is the RFID update. This is for $35,000. And I'll just kind of go on a tangent here and say if these children are coming from corporations, so Amazon or any of these warehouses are bringing in these families and they cannot speak English, these companies need to provide some sort of education or curriculum for these children so they can learn the English language. That should not be on Boone County residents. It should be on their time and their dollar. But this is not the only literacy contract that the district has signed. This is one of many.
That's what I'm having a hard time understanding, because the Kentucky Department of Education was teaching them the letters program, which is very similar to this program. Remember last year they offered it, and Boone County had 61 teachers enrolled in that 2-year program to learn the letters program. So why are we still buying other programs?
Lease curriculum and not create our own district-wide when we have PhDs and master's degrees that we're paying for. Like, we're paying salaries for those people, and they're not creating anything.
All right, next on the agenda is the data security and breach best practice.
Just that parents need to research what privacy laws and what data is being taken, because you're not given informed consent when your children are signed up for these different programs. And we do not have the ability to review the actual curriculum, and really neither does the school, because the contracts have stated that they can change curriculum at any time without any notice. This is not controlled by the school or the teacher. This is controlled by tech companies. And when you look up the companies that they're utilizing and doing contracts with, they have third-party companies that are in partnerships. So you go to the website for the company they're contracting with, and then you look up their partnerships. They have partnerships with global companies outside of the United States. Those companies are also getting your child's data. You're not aware of what they're asking your child in this curriculum specifically, and the schools only create their they created a document about securing the child's data. That only applies to the one company that they're contracting with. It does not apply, and their partners do not sign off on that agreement as well. And now that they're putting in best practices, why are they doing it now? They've been contracting these companies for 3 years or more. Like the Summit program, that was back in 2016, they started that. And those said they were sharing information with third parties as they deemed necessary. So what is the oversight of these companies? And they're just now looking at doing some best practices after they've violated the PII, which is a federal law, the PPRA, which is a federal law, COPA and FERPA. Those are being violated. And when you go through this document, I encourage parents to actually read through it. That gives them better description of some of the other laws that we have available to us at the state to then implement and send in contracts with the school saying that we don't consent that they violate these agreements. When you sign off on your user agreement without any informed consent, of course, it basically says you break it, you buy it. You're actually, in the school's mind, signing off on allowing them to do all these accounts and give your child's information to these other companies. Parents don't know that, and you don't have to do that. You can opt out of all of these things.
They hide behind the proprietary laws, which is why they don't let you review the curriculum. And I just think that's totally unacceptable.
Well, it violates state law too, because we're supposed to
Yes.
be able to actually review the actual curriculum, and they've just listed what program they use. And again, it can be changed at any time because the school district doesn't own the curriculum. They don't operate the curriculum. These are tech companies.
And when you talk about PII, I think we need to explain what PII is. It's personal identifiable information on your children.
Yeah, the PII states that they're not supposed to be identifiable when they're online. So your child can use a computer and the schools can maintain certain data on your child, but when they're linked to online, when there's online platforms that they're logging into, they're not supposed to be identifiable. And unfortunately, they've linked their first dot last name at child's school email address. Again, they're violating these laws. And at the federal level, you can't bring lawsuit to these laws that they are violating unless you can show injury to your child. So we would have to wait till there's injury to your child, till their information stolen and used before you would actually be able to hold them accountable. And we will hold them accountable.
But by then, your child's information is out globally.
Yes. And that has been an issue. K through 12 education, according to the Government Accountability Office, is the #1 target for cyber attacks since 2020.
Which we'll get into further at the end of this recording.
Stacy, you want to sing your song?
They want to raise your taxes.
She told you it was coming.
Yep, it's here.
They do it every year.
Mm-hmm. They are proposing 4% increase yet again this year.
So just a rough estimate on things we looked over today from the school report card on KDE's website, with the enrollment numbers we currently have. You're looking at around $18,000 they get per child in the district right now. And it's probably more than that because we were a little bit generous with rounding up the enrollment. So they've had decreased enrollment numbers and they're getting roughly 18,000, it's probably more, per child to educate your child. And if you just put that into perspective on what parents pay for private education, I mean, you're not even paying that to go to Notre Dame and Cubcat.
No. And you're still having to pay a lot of school fees.
Yeah, and the
top of
lunch,
that.
can they please stop sending me notifications that I need to load my son's lunch card and pay a fee to that company? That's so annoying. My child's not eating your nasty food.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, you have to pay a fee on top of loading your child's card when you use that app.
So I emailed all of the school board members, and one in particular I asked because they replied with, I don't support increase of real estate taxes. And I replied, that's great. However, are you in support of other taxes, increasing those taxes? And I got no response.
Well, I got the same response you did from two of them. And one of them actually said they were lowering the tangible property. It just didn't add, I just didn't understand.
Email them, they're your voice. They work for the constituents, even though they go to lots of team building and lots of training through KDE and the school board to teach them how to work for the superintendent. They actually work for you. So you need to remind them, you're my voice, you're the constituents' voice, and we don't want you to raise our taxes during a time where we've already had record high inflation, the food costs, the gas costs, everything we're already paying. Now would be a good time for you to lower our taxes. You're already receiving an exorbitant amount per child. Learn how to balance your budget. Slim down on your admin who don't help the children in any way. They're not creating curriculum. You're just leasing it. Like, figure out how to do with what you have. There's new buildings going up. There's new neighborhoods, apartments. They're getting additional taxes already as it is. They're getting more money. So they don't need to raise our taxes. If anything, they need to lower it in an effort to show the community that they understand everybody is experiencing inflation.
Well, if they're going to lower the tangible and they're going to increase the real estate, they're going to get more money anyway because everybody's property value went up
Right.
significantly.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Look for them to do that. Not only do they raise our taxes every year, but they also put in for a reassessment so they can come and reassess your property for more, so they get more bang for their buck on the percentage.
That's right.
How nice of you to help yourself to our money.
So I was reading in this document, it says the review determined that the statute permits a local board of education to adopt a tax rate up to and including the 4% tax rate without advertising or holding a public hearing. So what are the chances this is already in place?
Oh, wow.
If it's above 4%, they have to advertise and hold a hearing.
So we need to contact our legislators because they need to make new laws of the land that Caesar can't just take our money without us even having a voice or a say in it. They're out of control. They're just out of control.
About a month ago, I talked to one of our state senators about this changing the law because we need to have it more of school levies where we vote.
Yep, agreed. And this was the chart that was included. And they strongly recommend that you engage your local board attorney in this matter.
Speaking of which, I sent in a records request. This is the second or third time they've done this. They have the board attorney respond to me instead of somebody in central office. So just so the public knows, that's $190 an hour that they pay this board attorney. And simple records request, they're not responding to within the office. They're having the board attorney do it. So that's costing us extra as well.
Another concerned parent has created some bar charts to show the tax revenue increase within the past 9 years. And as you can see, blue is school and how much it has increased since 2013.
Wow.
And the library is another one that we have to watch. Like, what the heck are they doing at the library? I mean, their buildings, like Stacey and I were talking about, they look amazing, and our schools look like concentration camps or jails.
Yeah, the library, I know one of our state senators was talking about that's taxation without representation because they are not voted into those seats. So they get a say. Most people don't even know who they are or know that there is a library board. But yeah, the fact that they keep raising our taxes. Have you seen those buildings that they've built? I mean, the libraries look like some sort of building from the Roman empires.
They're beautiful.
Not sure that all that's absolutely necessary if you look at what the average citizen is living in Boone County.
And this was another diagram that he created speaking to the property taxes.
See, there's that 653, and they're wanting to take to 659.
We should overlay it on that graph to show how parents are pulling their kids out of school, out of public school because of the nonsense. And luckily during COVID, if you can say that, parents woke up and saw what was being taught to their kiddos and said, yeah, I don't think so. Took them out of school and enrolled them either in private, charter, homeschool, whatever else is out there, which I can't blame them because I'm one of them.
The taxes are going up and the enrollment is going down.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Which means they're doing a terrible job. So we're just going to take more of your money.
Right.
Instead of doing a good job and getting more students enrolled and getting money that way, we're going to do a terrible job. We're going to alienate the parents. We're going to call them names and make them feel terrible. How dare you ask questions? How dare you care about your child's education? That is just absurd. So to hell with the parents. we're going to do whatever we want with the kids, and those who can afford it are going to haul their kids out of the school. Well, then we're just going to steal your money through taxation. Go ahead,
Right.
Caesar. Tyranny. I told all of them to read the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. And if you guys, our audience, actually read those documents, you'll see how ridiculous our government has got, especially the school board.
All right, RFID, Zonar, CI Solutions, Raptor Tech, whatever the heck you want to call it. So we have an update on this. So we have a concerned parent who has informed Super Matthew and Turner regarding the kids' private information being compromised by other entities, as Stacy was talking about earlier. He's asking for immediate cease of data exchange with CI Solutions and parties. Sounds like CI Solutions is the problem because they're the ones that are data grabbing and selling our kids' information to marketing companies and whoever the heck knows. And it's already happening.
I just want to remind the audience that Kim Best stood up at the school board meeting and said, no, they don't get any information outside of your child's picture and their first and last name. That's all that they get, and it's not connected. Guess we found out she's a liar.
He has proven that it is happening in other school districts, and it's coming this year to Boone County. So are parents okay to give up their child's personal information? Are they cool with that? I'm not.
He contacted the other school districts,
Right.
and they did not give permission.
Mr. Turner, having filed numerous records requests these past weeks and reviewed the content, I wanted to make the district and board aware of findings and formally request an immediate cease of any data exchange with CI Solutions, Zonar, or any associated partners. In addition to the confirmation that no DPA was properly executed, no SOC2 review was completed, nor had the vendor contracts been written to be in accordance with KRS at the time of execution. Through investigation of CI Solutions, I have identified several events where CI Solutions have shared student names, ID numbers, badge information, and possibly other details outside of their organization with numerous other outside entities without the knowledge or permission of the school district or parent guardian of the student. I have engaged the school districts whom had entrusted CI Solutions and provided the districts with redacted copies of this information. This has generated with numerous conversations with superintendents and other members of security and leadership. I can inform you with 100% confidence that the information of their students was being used without their knowledge or approval. This may have legal implications with CI Solutions. This is precisely one of the scenarios I cautioned the district about last month, and a wholly unacceptable outcome. You have crossed from concern of a potential event to confirmation of multiple events from the vendor. The public also has a right to be informed by the district on this reckless practice and continued pursuit of data sharing with organizations without competent and due diligence. We found out that these networks are connected to Infinite Campus, which houses all of the kids' personal information. And these cards will be printed, which will contain their photo, their name, school student ID, multiple barcodes, and an RFID chip for tracking. And if they say, oh, well, if you don't want a card with an RFID chip, we can create one that can just get them off the bus, which is BS. They all have RFID card chips in them. There's no such thing. And your board members that voted for it was Karen Bird, Maria Brown, and Jesse Parks.
You can't be a voice for the people. Resign.
Plan to use these same cards in the cafeteria and the library.
Right.
So it's not just the bus.
And that's only phase 2 of 5 phases, of which they also lied to us about. Right. We had to find out from a district employee, this is phase 2 of 5, and eventually they can do attendance monitoring and lots of other things with this chip card. And you guys should be furious that these adults are willing to lie in these school board meetings to your face about what they're doing with your child's information. You should be furious. The audacity of these people. Disgusting.
Karen, this is what you referred to earlier, that some of these superintendents were not
Right.
clear on the data that was being compromised. Wasn't that your job to research that?
Well, that's what the parent tried to tell them at the meeting, and they were upset that he would think the board had nefarious reasons for using this. No, we were just trying to warn you it wasn't good.
Well, they played it off and said, well, just kindergarten through third grade.
Yeah.
Except the opt out, which is not an opt out, the one that they
Right.
give you. It says that you have to opt out at 3rd, 6th, and 9th grade. So is it just for elementary school, Miss Best? No, it's not. Stop lying to the parents. If there's anything that we care about in this world, it's our children. So stop trampling on our rights as parents. We really need to hold them accountable. Everybody needs to start getting a hold of your legislators and the school board members.
Right.
We have got to be the voice for these kids. These kids don't have a voice without you, parents. You have to say something. You have to stand up for them.